Hello everybody, how are you? Let me hope that you are feeling quite well. So in the last session we were talked about on resistance in Africa, where we talked about on Maherero rebellions, meaning and causes. Now today we are going to focus on the Maji Maji rebellion in Tanzania. When we say Maji is a Swahili word which means water, it comes from the prophet of traditional religious leader called Kinjekitile Ngwara. This one Kinjekitile, mixed some water with millet and sorghum flour, then sprinkled on African soldiers. He believed that the magic water would protect African from bullets of the Germans. Now let's move on causes of the Maji Maji rebellion. There was the rise of nationalism among Africans. The society of southern Tanganyika developed too much hatred for Germany and their rule because of their brutality, forced labor, and disrespect of African culture, among others. Here also they decided that the only way to have independence was through a rebellion. There was also heavy taxation. The German administration introduced taxation as a way of forcing the Africans to work on European farms. Africans like Ngoni, Ngindo, Zamalo, Matumbi, Pogoro, Lungula, Muga, and Bena liberate as a way of saving themselves from the heavy taxes that were imposed on them by the Germans. Not only were the taxes heavy, but even the methods of collection were harsh and brutal. Loss of land to Germans. The Germans had grabbed the fertile land belonging to Africans, for example, within the Rift Valley and Maheng Plateau. In those two areas, the Germans established plantations. This led Africans to labor so as to regain their land. Forced labor policies. Africans were forced to work on German construction projects such as railways and roads. They were also forced to work in the cotton plantations. Africans were made to work for long hours and were given small wages. Sometimes they would work with no pay. These annoyed Africans and they decided to fight the Germans. The oppressive German rule. The German employed Arab Swahili as headman, jumbes, and chiefs actors to assist in the administration. These actors and jumbes were very harsh to the African communities. They had no respect for the African traditional rulers and they flogged them in public. Germans used actors and jumbes who were unpopular among the African societies. They were unpopular because they had mistreated people before. They were harsh in implementation of German rule. They had no respect for the African traditional rulers and at times flogged them in public. The need to revenge on the German. Here, some African societies like the Ngoni joined the Maji Maji so as to revenge the Boma massacres of 1897. In this incident, Ngoni leaders were tricked by the German officials into entering Boma or fort. Once side the Germans tried to arrest them, and in the ensuing struggle, many people died. Role of Kinjekitile Ngwara. Kinjekitile Ngwara mobilized people in 1904 where he sent messengers to the surrounding country to train people. He spread the power of magic water from river refuge, which inspired many people to join the rebellion. The water, they believed, had the powers of turning bullets into water. People did not have any fear for the German bullets. The belief in the water gave the warriors courage or brave to face the Germans despite the fact that the latter were better armed. Need to preserve the African culture. Africans wanted to retain their culture as the German administration had disrupted the way of life of the African people. Germans also had no respect for African culture and customs. They and their servants raped Ngindo women, an offense that was punishable by death. They also burned African shrines where this annoyed the Africans. Outbreak of natural calamities. There was any outbreak of natural calamities such as famine in 1905 in the southeast Tanganyika states. The famine led to resentment among the locals, such as calamities caused Africans to suffer. They were attributed to the presence of Germans on their land. Last one, there was overthrow of native raiders. This was due to the fact that German colonial policy of direct rule. Many native African leaders lost their power to German administrators. African leaders such as Mifambo were replaced with Akidas and Jombes. These Akidas and Jombes were harsh to the African communities whom they considered backward and illiterate. Many Africans were not happy. They therefore joined the rebellion as a way of restoring their leaders. Without consuming our time, our flowers, let's call it a day. Let's call it a day. We shall continue in the next session or next day, where in the next session we are going to talk about on types of resistance, including active resistance and passive resistance. Thank you very much. Enjoy the course.